pre-season been going for you?
Very good, yes. So we're really happy as a collective, the workloads we've been able to put in, and the training's probably stepped up a notch into some match simulation over the last probably 1 or 2 weeks, which is the natural progression. I think we're in really good nick at the moment.
And how's your thumb been progressing after you had surgery?
Yeah, I haven't had too many issues with that at all since the operation went smoothly, and my transition back into footy training, competitive training's been seamless. So I haven't had any issues, and touch wood, that's the case going forward.
Mike, can we expect to see anything different from the midfield group this year? Have you been working on anything?
Yeah, I think the midfield's always probably a really good discussion point, I suppose, because it's a place a lot of players want to play, and I think this year no different to probably the last 2 or 3 years, and probably even more so. A really exciting period for our midfield. I think we're getting a lot of blokes 2 or 3 years into their AFL career that have put some consistent form in at waffle level, and then guys that have improved fitness levels from 1 year to the next that will be able to add some more versatility to our midfield, that have played more half-back roles, half-forward roles that might be suited a little bit more inside work this year. So I think we've got probably a good 8 to 12, and hopefully upwards of that once the season comes around, that can go through the midfield.
What are the expectations for this year as a group then? Do you need to set yourself for top 4?
Well, I think it's been said that to give yourself the best opportunity. Top 4's the trend has been the top 4 over the last few years that have gone the distance, but it's so hard to talk about in January, the September expectations. I mean, for me personally, I think across the whole group, we're in a really solid chunk of our pre-season program at the moment, and probably for another 1 or 2 weeks or 3 or 4, depending on, I'll have to go ask Ross after this, but we're really just concentrating on session to session. We've got 3 main sessions a week, and basically now we've done a really good session today, got a lot out of the session today, review that, and then into the Friday session. So as far as setting goals as a collective at the moment, I think it's a bit far reached.
Do you guys do that though before the start of the season?
Not so much. Ross's philosophy has always been, and it's translated across the group, is control what you can control, and that's the next moment, the next meeting, the next training session, and once games start to roll around, the next game. So that's where we're at the moment, and at the moment we'll concentrate on Friday's session and reviewing today's.
Michael, what have you made of Daniel Pearce so far? Yeah,
a very good influence on our group, and someone that really fits our model. Probably, I think I did the media about two months ago on our first day back, and somewhere we've identified that we need to improve the outside speed and penetration with good foot skills, and Daniel brings that, and the way he's been invited into the group, and the way he's expressed himself on the track and off the track's been exemplary. So we're really happy to have him on board, and really looking forward to seeing what he has to offer going forward into the NAB Cup and beyond.
What did you think of him when he was at Port Adelaide? What type of player did you think he was?
Very talented. I mean, every time we played Port Adelaide, he'd be a target player for us, and someone we'd have to identify if we wanted to win the match. We'd have to limit his influence. So that speaks volumes of his ability, and I think really fits our model well. It really adds to some areas that we identify we need to improve, and as I said, looking forward to seeing what he has to offer once the balls are bounced.
What about Brett Kirk? What kind of influence has he had on you so far, Mike?
Yeah, really good one. He's a very positive character, and you give yourself half a chance if you're a good person. He's an exemplary person with a fantastic work ethic, which we all saw when he used to play for Sydney and went into the media, and now his transition into coaching has been very, very, very good. From what we've experienced, is the way he portrays himself and the way he teaches and allows his players to learn from mistakes and learn from doing is really good. And he's probably taken on a core group of 7 or 8 that are really valuing his input and some of his experiences he can transfer to us. And I think he's only going to add to our strengths in the midfield with Mark Stone, who he worked really closely with in Sydney, and I think we saw the results of their midfield there.
Have you had much contact with Morabito after the injury or after the surgery?
after the injury, just a quick text message and caught up with him before his surgery last week. But he's had the surgery, and all indications it's gone really well. So we're really giving him a good time just to recover from the surgery and get in a good mental space. And I think he's really mentally up and about with how it went, and he'll work with our physios and doctors and sports science staff and coaches. He's got the support of the whole football club, and I think the footballing world, I think it's one of those situations that's just unthinkable, and I think everyone in the football industry is right behind him, and he couldn't be in a better place than the Fremantle Football Club at the moment.
You had the long road back after injury as a young player. What can you say to him now? He's got such a long road ahead. It's unthinkable luck, but he's such a outstanding character, and has shown great leadership from a young age. As soon as he walked in the door, he had great leadership capabilities and aspects of his character that has never for one really second moaned and whinged about his situation. And I think he's a really bright and bubbly personality that just wants to. He's made the decision to go with the surgery he's gone with a foresight to get back playing AFL footy, and we're right behind him with that, and we're going to give him as long as possible, as long as he'll need. So we'll see how he goes with it, and we'll be there every step of the way with him.
How obviously having a delayed start to the pre-season, not in full training for another couple of weeks, is that any concern for the club, or knowing him like you do, you'd expect him to?
I think he was off legs for a while, and now he's into the running phases, and he hasn't had any period where he's had to back it off or pull things back. So I think it's all progressing as our sports science staff and physio staff would like. So I think he's made it clear to you guys where he's at, and I don't think that's changed as yet.
I think you'll play your 50th game this year. Is that right?
Not looking past my 47th at the moment.
Is it? I guess it's taken a long road to get there. Do you kind of see yourself now as your next goal is to push on, make 150, be a life member, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I suppose personally, I just want to get the most out of myself as I can, and I think one thing I'd take into my day-to-day life is not to have any regrets, and just trying to improve on the person and in the AFL environment, the athlete I was yesterday. So if I can just continue to make improvements and mould myself around the game plan we want to achieve here, and be the best player I can for this club, then I'll leave the game with no regrets. But I've never put a figure on how many games or what accolades or anything like that I want. It's basically just the next moment, being a better player and a better team player from week to week as I can.